Pronounced, defined, used in lexical dispatch.
Apocalyptic, adjective, apocalyptical, apocalyptically, of or relating to an apocalypse, revelatory, foreboding imminent disaster, annihilating, annihilative, terrible, devastating, nomenclature, noun, nomenclatural, a system of naming things, especially in science, language, terminology, name. Fundamentalists, finally, are committed to an apocalyptic vision of the end of the world and the Last Judgment. Who but a true master could have seen such an apocalyptic vision of the world on such a street corner? Alexander Pope presented his apocalyptic vision of the flood of printer's ink that was spreading darkness across the land. America is a period of misery and disillusionment with traditional hopes, and for his apocalyptic vision of violence. She wasn't yet ready to buy such an apocalyptic view of her layoff. Apocalyptic literature, science fiction movies, and neo-Luddite rhetoric portray technology as a dark, dehumanizing force. Many conservatives discuss issues like same-sex marriage and abortion in positively apocalyptic terms. Readers may consider some elements of the future that I have painted apocalyptic, but I choose to view most inevitable change with optimism. He said his prediction is based on verses and numerical codes found in the Bible, specifically in the apocalyptic book of Revelation. The idea might seem benign at first, but if this free-thinking artificial intelligence is combined with military technology, some worry it sets the stage for an apocalyptic disaster. The Norse mythology ends with Ragnarok, the apocalyptic end of the world. Before examining the individual elements of the Nativity, it is important to recognize the apocalyptic nature of the Gospels. I think it is extremely important not to speak in apocalyptical language about this issue. Faced with this density, these numbers, it is hard not to think apocalyptically. This can be a name that is in accordance with the nomenclature systems of the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. The nomenclature of the federal government has also shifted as these new priorities have taken hold. In each case, their actions and/or words are the opposite of what the nomenclature and statements they rely upon to represent who they are and what they do. The nomenclature may differ in social channels, but at the end of the day, it's about creating meaningful connections. The nomenclature has changed, maybe about 4 or 5 major revisions, but ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. In the beginning, I was almost amused by the nomenclature that doctors throw around so unselfconsciously. He paid considerable attention to important taxonomic issues of nomenclature, priority, stability, and phylogenetic relationships. A system of nomenclature for angels in Jewish lore did not exist prior to the Persian Zoroastrian period. This sloppiness in nomenclature is very deceptive for those lay people following the discussion. Explain that. It is a scientific nomenclature that describes who we are as part of a phyla or a stream. He was an authority on the rules of zoological nomenclature and wrote many papers on the subject. The nomenclatural overlap with vernacular names for colocasia makes identification especially difficult for the neophyte.